Welcome to AlleyCats Weekly, your weekly look at the Indianapolis AlleyCats. I'm Heath Shanahan. Week 2 has come to an end, and the Cats fall to the Minnesota wind chill 34-25. It was a cold night in Indianapolis, but the wind chill came ready to play in their first AUDL game of the season. AlleyCats standouts were Cameron Brock, who had 9 goals, bringing his season total to an AUDL leading 23 goals. Keenan, Pelu, who tallied 5 goals and 5 assists, and Mike Ames, who had 2 goals, 5 assists, 3 Ds, including a layout catch D in the third quarter. After the game, I caught up with Keenan Pelu, who talked about what you can take away from a loss, the Cats' offensive scheme, and a new role he's taken on the defensive end. We're here with number 1, Keenan Pelu for your Indianapolis AlleyCats, player of the game tonight against the Minnesota wind chill. Keenan, I know it's always rough to get a loss, but there's a lot you can take away from it. 25 points is definitely a great score. Especially with the fast pace of what the AUDL is. Short points. Talk a little bit about what you can take away from a loss like this.
Well, I thought we definitely used the field really well tonight. Usually it's 53 and a third wide is kind of tough to use, especially coming from USAU. We definitely ran our offense the right way. Just the small turnovers caught us. But our offense flowed when we were scoring. That's what I'm taking away, probably the best thing from it. But we ran the plays when we needed to, and we just obviously
Sure. And last year, it was definitely a huck offense. There was a lot of, going deep. But, with some of the personnel that were on the team last year, that made sense. This year, you guys are playing a lot more underneath. You kind of being that key underneath guy. What kind of plan do you guys have offensively now?
We know that we want to work it up, maybe 2, 3, 4 throws, under, those body shots, and then we're looking for people like Cameron, 40, DVE, deep off of those. So I think that's a big reason why we know that we're taking our chances. A lot of teams give us the under automatically, so we know that if we can get a few unders, we can get the offense rolling and get those deep throws later on in the offense. So.
Sure. And I did see you playing a little bit defense towards the end of the game. Was that strategic? What was it?
I think OB wants to use me a little bit if we can get a turn and put me in on D as a possible O if we can get a turn. One of those things.
Sure, absolutely. And looking forward, next weekend is the Wildfire will be down here, kind of for their first trip to King Stadium. They are a high-flying team. We saw they put up a lot of points last week. Defensively, it's going to be a lot of matchups that are really going to have to come through. But offensively, you guys are really going to have to be on point. Who do you see kind of contributing next week on offense?
Well, I hope Cameron can bring a couple more points as usual. It's just a team game. I can't really say one person over the other because I don't know who. We have their main 3 or 4, like they're kind of like the Miami Heat. But hopefully someone who hasn't stepped up yet can step up and get us some more points when we need them. But this is probably the best offensive team that I've ever played on because at any point we can have anyone step up and play a spot or get us point or get an assist. So it could be it's anyone's ball game who could step up as an extra.
Absolutely. There's a lot of firepower on this Indianapolis AlleyCats offense. Keenan, thank you so much for your time and good luck next week.
Thank you, guys.
The wind chill had good performances from James Haran, Kevin Sealer, Jonathan Starren, and Austin Lean. After the game, I spoke with wind chill captain Austin Lean about their first AUDL game and his outlook on the rest of the season. Good. Okay, I'm here with Austin Lean. Just finished their first AUDL contest with the Minnesota wind chill. Just played our AlleyCats, winning 34-25. Austin, it's a lot different here in the AUDL with referees. What kind of difference have you seen so far between the AUDL and then Club Ultimate?
The biggest thing coming out here for this first game was we were not expecting an average of 30-second O-line points. Both teams were scoring really quickly, and with the short time in between points, it made it really difficult for us to kind of rapid fire call lines and make sure that everyone was going to make it through the whole game.
Sure. And it did kind of seem like some people were starting to get a little winded.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw you guys definitely adjusted that in the second half, but that is a lot different from Club Ultimate. You definitely have those points and your time in between points. So, what do you guys think that you're going to have to do differently with the rest of the season to kind of help yourself adjust to this?
Well, hopefully I mean, this is one of our long road trips that we're on. I think a shorter drive will help, but also just as we get closer to the club season, guys are going to get in better shape. I mean, we just started training for, the club season really a couple weeks ago, and the UDL we get that benefit.
Absolutely. So, first game in the books, how do you guys feel afterwards? I mean, of course, this is a great to come off with a victory. We had our first victory last week, too, in our first week, so, it's great to start on a positive point. I mean, what do you kind of see your outlook?
Well, we're tired for one. That was a long game.
We have one in the car.
It wasn't expected to be that long, but we're psyched. I think we had high expectations coming into the season, and this was a good affirmation to start it off. We'll have to see how we can manage, a game tomorrow and further on down the season.
It's Austin Lean, captain of the Minnesota Wind Chill. Austin, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Before we look at this week's game, let's take a look at what you voted as the plays of the week on offense, defense, and best catch.
Scoreboard number 37, Travis Carpenter.
This Saturday, April 27th at 7:30 p.m., the AlleyCats welcome the Windy City Wildfire to Coombs Memorial Stadium. The Wildfire are another expansion team of the AUDL in 2013 and have some familiar faces to Cats fans. Josh Rook Shepard, Brody Smith, and 2012 AUDL League MVP Jonathan Goose Helton. Also on the Wildfire is Chicago Machine standout AJ Nelson. Windy City comes into the contest with a 1-1 record, beating the Cincinnati Revolution in Week 1, 26-15, but falling to the Madison Radicals 22-21 in Week 2. The AlleyCats and Wildfire game will be broadcasted live worldwide on UXTV. If you're in the area, come help us pack the house, but if not, watch the game on uxtvnetwork.com. This ends another edition of AlleyCats Weekly. Join us next week as we break down this week's game and look forward into the AUDL season.